capturing every nuanced emotion, every pause and push, with an almost reverence, an infinitesimal yet profound travel through an eternity of wild breath. Or follows, capturing both the triumph and isolation inherent in its venture, as for both partners sense the looming threat. Overhead, the eagle's immense wings flapped, which held strong beneath the thick bush. In a wide shot, the duo crouched, uplifted by their escape. They stood as a quiet testament to courage in the face of overwhelming small ant. With an unusual determination, it carried a piece of bread that was twice its size. The piece of bread in front of the bird and retreated slightly, its tiny antennae twitching with strength to sit up more uprightly. The ant was beside it under the majestic tree, both savoring. Small and injured bird lay still, its wing bent in a way that nature did not intend to its struggle. Yet, the ant, small but determined, seems full of concern. The camera zooms in on the bird's injured wing. Despite the obvious pain, and expressing with life, an unlikely friendship had been formed between a small ant named Arlo and a midget lay on the forest floor, unable to fly. It was Arlo, the diligent ant, who had disappeared. He soared high above the forest, his joyful flight a testament to recovery and liberation. In the vast expanse of a shimmering golden field, under the clear embrace of a summer sky, one tiny creature embarks on a journey that echoes the timeless struggle between determination and the daunting vastness of the world. Among the gently swaying sea of grass, there labors a single ant, busy, determined, and unwavering. Silently, the camera's gaze shifts from the grand tableau of nature's magnificence to the meticulous toil of this little wanderer, accentuating the stark contrast between the creature's diminutive stature and the expansive canvas of the earth. The ant navigates the rugged terrain, diligently shuttling back and forth, each trip a saga of grit and perseverance. A grape-sized crumb of bread becomes the Sisyphusian boulder this ant must bear, testing its tiny limbs and iron will. The world around it fades to a gentle symphony of waving grass under the caress of a soft, harmonious breeze. Yet, the ant's struggle stands in sharp relief, a poignant display of its resolve against an indifferent world. Under the watchful eye of the sun, perched high in the sky, a dusty path emerges, speckled with the looming shadows of rocks and crowned by tall grass extending far and wide. These sunlit obstacles frame the challenges that lie ahead. But the ant presses on, the camera patiently tracing its path, capturing every nuanced motion, every pause and push, with an almost reverent precision. A burst of slow motion draws in, showcasing the ant's journey across the endless field with the sun casting a brilliant sheen on its minuscule form. Long shadows stretch and dance upon the ground, the silhouette parting the warm, golden hues of dusk that cloak the field. Each step, a testament to the scale of its odyssey, an infinitesimal yet profound travel through an eternity of wild grass. Above, the scene shifts to a celestial perspective, where the ant is but a speck upon an intricate tapestry of a winding path framed by an unfathomable horizon. The camera follows, capturing both the triumph and isolation inherent in its venture. As the day wanes and the sun settles into the horizon, an ethereal glow paints the skies, casting a heartwarming, serene aura across the field. Beneath this light, the ant, still moving, embodies a timeless narrative of insignificance juxtaposed with enduring resolve. It is, after all, in the smallest of journeys that we often find the grandest of tales. Under the broad canopy of a large, aged tree, a small and injured bird lay still, its wing bent in a way that nature did not intend. The camera starts to pull back, revealing the wilderness around, a silent testament to the peace that only a forest can provide. Despite the calmness, one couldn't ignore the subtle beams of sunlight gently kissing the earth through the gaps between the leaves. As if responding to an unspoken call, a lone ant approached cautiously, its small form barely visible behind a bush. The bird's eyes flutter open, weak but aware, following the ant's movement through the serene forest where sunlight played hide and seek with the ground. The ant finally stops, positioning itself right in front of the bird. Despite the vast difference in size and strength, they face each other as equals. The bird's weariness is palpable, each rise and fall of its frail body testifying to its struggle. Yet, the ant, small but determined, seems full of concern. The camera blurs the background, ensuring the focus remains on this unusual pair. Ground level now, the camera brings us to the ant taking the lead, speaking silent promises of assistance to the bird. The vastness of their size difference emphasized, the now attentive bird listens, unmoving but receptive. Around them, the leaf-strewn forest floor whispers in the wind, adding a gentle soundtrack to their interaction. In a moment that seems almost magical, the camera zooms in on the bird's injured wing. Despite the obvious pain, an expression of relief crosses the bird's face. It is not alone in its plight. The surrounding forest basks in a warm, golden light, a symbol of hope and perseverance amidst the dark shadow of suffering. Convinced of its task, the ant bustles off, its tiny legs carrying it through the sun-dappled paths. The camera follows, capturing the tranquil beauty of nature's symphony, the soft rustle of leaves and occasional bird calls. While the ant works, collecting crumbs vital for the bird's survival, the mood shifts towards hope. It's a simple act, yet it holds the power to change a life. In an unspoken alliance, the forest witnesses compassion in its purest form as an ant helps a fallen bird. In the heart of an ancient forest, an ant and a small bird found themselves wandering together. Though strange companions, they had formed a unique bond over their shared love of adventure and exploration. All was calm until a massive shadow darkened the sky. A wide shot captured the sight of a mighty eagle soaring above, its eyes hunting for prey. In this wild world, the forest seemed eerily silent, magnifying the danger as the camera shifted down to the ant and bird on the forest floor. With instinctive dread, the bird's wings shuddered, and the ant's antennas twitched imperceptibly. The sense of vulnerability was intense as the camera tightened on the ant's determined face. It was a look of bravery that belied its tiny stature, for both partners sensed the looming threat. Overhead, the eagle's immense wings flapped powerfully, casting a threatening shadow across the sun-dappled ground. The tension was palpable. The forest appeared immense and unforgiving. With a close-up shot, the ant signaled for the bird to remain still, emphasizing its fierce concentration amidst the darkened shadows of imminent danger. And yet, their courage held strong beneath a thick bush. In a wide shot, the duo crouched, watching as the eagle circled above. Zooming out, the camera revealed the vast expanse of the forest, a place that seemed impossibly large and perilous, further underscoring their smallness in this vast world. In a sudden burst of motion, the camera shifted to a slow-motion shot as the eagle began its deadly dive, the air filled with the rustling of leaves in a dance of tension and urgency. The ant and bird, though gripped with fear, refused to surrender to panic. From a vantage point behind the ant, the camera captured it leading the bird through the underbrush, seeking refuge in the thick trees. They moved with purpose, narrowly evading the eagle's deadly intent. As the eagle passed above, the shadows of the forest seemed to sigh in relief. The ant and the bird continued their journey, humbled, yet uplifted by their escape. They stood as a quiet testament to courage in the face of overwhelming odds. The forest was large, but their friendship and resilience seemed boundless. Their journey continued, with nature itself as their backdrop, a world both dangerous and wondrous. In the heart of a tranquil forest, the morning rays filtered through the canopy, gently illuminating a small ant. With an unusual determination, it carried a piece of bread that was twice its size. The ant carefully maneuvered through the fallen leaves and twigs, finally reaching its destination, a weakened bird resting amidst the underbrush. The contrast between the tiny ant and the larger, friendlier bird painted a poignant picture. The bird lay on the ground, feathers slightly ruffled, its eyes dull with hunger and fatigue. With great care, the ant placed the piece of bread in front of the bird and retreated slightly, its tiny antennae twitching with anticipation. Soft lighting bathed the scene, filling it with warmth. The bird weakly turned its head, eyeing the bread. It hesitated for a moment, its body barely moving, then gently pecked at the food. Each motion was sluggish but deliberate. The ant watched intently, and though it had no lips to smile, it seemed content as it observed the bird slowly gain strength. Behind them, the forest stood alive but serene, with golden sunbeams dappling the ground in a mosaic of light. The ant moved deftly around the bird, arranging bits of food with a tender care that was almost human. The surrounding trees seemed to respond, casting a warm glow that mirrored the kindness of the gesture. Small beams of sunlight danced over the leaves, creating halos around the two unlikely companions. As time passed, the bird began to reclaim its vitality. It slowly stretched its wings, the motion captured in a delicate slow motion, as if time itself was allowing this moment to breathe. Throughout this, the ant remained a constant presence, an observer with limitless patience. The forest continued a symphony of quiet, broken only by the rustle of leaves. Eventually, the bird found enough strength to sit up more uprightly. The ant was beside it under the majestic tree, both savoring the calm. Above them, the sunlight played through the green branches, casting rich patterns on the leafy floor, a silent reminder of hope and renewal. Together, the ant and the bird embraced their unique bond, nurtured in the shadow of adversity. The forest, a witness to this gentle act of empathy, continued to stand as a bastion of peace and life. In the heart of a vast, green forest teeming with life, an unlikely friendship had been formed between a small ant named Arlo and a majestic bird called Zephyr. Zephyr had once soared through the skies with grace, but an unfortunate storm had left him injured and grounded. As he lay on the forest floor, unable to fly, it was Arlo, the diligent ant, who had discovered him. Unlike the other forest creatures who passed by in haste or merely out of curiosity, Arlo had stopped, drawn by a sense of compassion he couldn't quite explain. The sun beamed down gently on the forest, signaling a new beginning as Arlo, little by little, nurtured Zephyr back to health. Their friendship blossomed in this sanctuary of nature's light and warmth. With patience and determination, Arlo and Zephyr worked together, Zephyr slowly regaining his strength, and Arlo feeling a newfound sense of purpose. On a bright sunny day, as Zephyr stood tall with his wings spread wide, Arlo watched from a distance, marveling at the transformation that had taken place. Zephyr looked at Arlo, his eyes filled with gratitude. In that moment, their individual strengths and the bond they had forged against all odds were palpable, much like the forest bathed in sunlight around them. As Zephyr gave his wings a tentative flap, he felt a sense of readiness and freedom that had eluded him for so long. With a powerful leap, Zephyr propelled himself into the air, his wings catching the wind perfectly. He soared high above the forest, his joyful flight a testament to recovery and liberation. The blue sky spread out endlessly before him, an open invitation to explore the world once more. Below, Arlo watched, his heart swelling with satisfaction and pride. He nodded to himself, aware of the significant part he had played in Zephyr's journey.